This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., Brotherhood Credit Union, Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.
Good morning and welcome back to another edition of the LCTV News. November is flying by in a wave of holiday drives, grand announcements, and playoff news. Videos are again light this week, but are focused on the contributions of veterans to our community. A fitting theme the week of Veterans Day. Learn more about the Recovery Exchange and their mission to give back to others in our latest lowdown. Here's the news for Friday, November 15th, 2024. The Lynn Fire Department has been providing updates via social media on the Lynn Woods brush fire since it began last Friday. LCTV sat down with Lynn Fire Chief Sullivan to get a more complete picture of the situation after it was reported that the fire had surpassed 400 acres, burning from Steel Tower to the Pennybrook Road entrance via Dungeon Rock and Waycross Road. Here's more of what he had to say.
All right, so Friday afternoon, we got a call from the state fire wardens that they could see smoke coming from the Lynn Woods area. So our crews went up to investigate the smoke condition. They found that a fire had started over near Steel Tower. After getting there, they realized that there was 3 separate fires, probably from the windy conditions that we had. So we were able to, throughout the day, slow the fire down and control it to the Stone Tower Fire Road, which is Cook Road. Our crews were there until about 11 or 12 o'clock at night. The fire wardens had set up a good stop there. We used hose lines, leaf blowers, and the fire wardens were able to use a technique called backburning, where they lit the trail edge on fire to help slow down the wall of fire that was coming towards us. So at that point, that was Friday night, we thought we had a good stop on it, but at some point in the evening, some trees had fallen across the roads and had affected at what we thought was 2 more areas. So the fire started burning down towards the golf course, and it also started burning over towards the Undercliff Path, Dungeon Rock area. So upon further investigation, we found that the fire had jumped into a 3rd area, which was heading down towards the Pennybrook Road entrance and, more importantly, the houses. So we were able to get some crews along Jackson Path, and we used that as our last stop. So we were able to allow the fire to burn down and control the fire there at Jackson Path, basically saving the neighborhood. Since then, we've had crews off and on that have been checking the perimeter. Throughout their investigations, we've found a lot of downed trees across the main fire roads. We were able to work with the fire ranger, Dan Smalls, and the DPW to help clear some of those trees just to improve access. Right now, there are a whole lot of unstable trees up there, so we've closed the woods down to the public. We'll get some crews up there as the week progresses to assess the downed trees. We'd ask the public to stay away until we can ensure their safety. We're going to have some chain crews go up there to cut down some trees, move some trees, and just check all the little paths, not just the main fire roads. I'd like to thank the surrounding communities for all their support. The fire wardens were a great help, and more importantly, all the guys that have really put a lot of effort into controlling this fire.
The City of Lynn also announced a water ban yesterday afternoon due to a regional drought and low water supply. It was the second driest October on record for the Commonwealth since 1985, with rain levels totaling between 0.25 and 1.5 inches across the state. The drought level for the northeastern region of the Commonwealth has reached level 3 of 4, a critical drought, as of November 7th. For Lynn specifically, the water supply is only at 44.5% of its 4.2 billion gallons of water capacity. Therefore, the LWSC Water and Conservation Policy and Drought Management Plan required the city to issue a mandatory water ban. This includes no outdoor watering use for residents, the Department of Public Works shutting down all park flowerbed sprinklers, the golf course limiting its watering to only the green, water hydrants only being used for firefighting purposes, and the LWSC repairing all leaks immediately. The Massachusetts Clean Water Trust Board of Trustees approved $96 million in new low-interest loans and grants at their meeting on November 6th. The Lynn Water and Sewer Commission received a $20 million, 1.5% interest loan for phases 3, 4, and 5 in the West Lynn sewer separation. LWSC is one of 3 borrowers to receive a piece of the $47 million in Clean Water Project grants. The MA Trust collaborates with the Mass DEP to help communities rebuild or replace water infrastructure that enhances ground and surface water resources. The City of Lynn commemorated Veterans Day with a ceremony the morning of the 11th, featuring performances by the Lynn English JROTC and the Lynn All-City Band, framing speeches from several state and city officials. Here's a clip from the event.
And so I want to doubly thank you and thanking you for your service, as well as thanking you for bringing back that important experience to improve our communities. A lot of you do it in different ways. We have a wonderful Veterans Council. We have incredible organizations around the city that many of you are a part of. And however you do that, however you go about living your lives, I want to thank you for sharing that experience.
As a veteran myself, I want to thank everyone out here that has served in the military. The title of veteran is earned, it is not given. We had to work really hard. We had to make sacrifices, leaving our families behind sometimes. Not every veteran goes overseas. Some veterans are just activated right here in on our own land, in our country. And they do things like helping to recover after the hurricanes or ice storms or various tragedies that happen right here at home.
Holidays are right around the corner, and the Lynn Community Coalition's Connection has once again released a list of Thanksgiving dinners available for free on Thanksgiving Day, November 28th. These meals are available free of charge in Lynn, Salem, Peabody, Swampscott, and Gloucester. In Lynn specifically, My Brother's Deli will be providing Thanksgiving takeout meals from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. My Brother's Table will also be holding a holiday brunch from noon to 3:30 p.m. and dinner from 4 to 6 p.m. Dine-in or to-go meals do not require a reservation, but call ahead 24 hours in advance if you need more than 6 to-go meals. Extra ones are also available for people to take to friends or neighbors who are unable to pick up the meals themselves. Keeping on this trend, Concerned Citizens of Lynn is continuing their annual tradition of collecting toys and clothing for families in need during the holiday season. Last year, they distributed over 800 gifts to 500 families in the city. This year, they plan to help even more and are asking the public for donations of new unwrapped toys, food, toiletries, new pajamas, hats, and gloves. The CCOL does not have an age cutoff, with Lisa Pressman adding, quote, "We never felt it would be fair if, for example, a 16-year-old gets to see their younger siblings with toys and they get nothing. So we go out of our way to include all," end quote. They accept both physical and cash donations, which can be sent in a variety of ways. Checks can be mailed to 30 Red Rock Street, Lynn. Donations can be dropped off at the same address. And monetary donations can also be made to @Concerned Citizens of Lynn through PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. LCTV is also teaming up with them to host the 3rd annual Photos with Santa and Toy Drive. Bring a new unwrapped toy to Lynn Community Television and get free pictures with Santa from 1 to 4 p.m. on November 24th. Other than Thanksgiving Day games, football season is officially over for the city of Lynn, as all 4 remaining teams were knocked out over the weekend. The 16th-ranked Bulldogs were routed by top-seeded Reading Memorial 48-0 last Friday night. This was the first playoff appearance for English since 2019, so head coach Tyler McDonald remains super proud of his players. St. Mary's traveled to Sandwich, falling by a score of 20-15. They scored with 6:30 remaining in the game, but Sandwich was able to eat up most of the remaining time to retain the win. The Spartans bowed out with a 7-2 record. 6th-ranked Kip was upset by 11th-seeded Bourne at Manning Field 27-6. The Panthers struck first off a 31-yard passing play, but that was all for the hosts, who ended the season at 5-4. And finally, Carver blanked Lynn Tech 28-0, splitting the scoring evenly between the halves with 14 apiece. The Tigers finished the year at 4-4. While St. Mary's boys soccer finished off the weekend, losing their Sweet 16 matchup to Holliston 1-0 on the 9th. Holliston's captain ended it with 17 seconds remaining in double overtime. A tough way to lose. The 7th-ranked Spartans end the year at 13-3-4. This past weekend, the Patriots were both the away team and underdogs, but they did not let that stop them from capturing their largest victory of the year, 19-3, over the Chicago Bears. Offensively, the Pats totaled 328 yards, with 4 field goals by Joey Sly and a second-quarter TD from quarterback Drake May to fellow rookie Jalen Polk. But it was the defense who stole the show, limiting the Bears to 142 total yards, forcing 8 punts, and sacking quarterback Caleb Williams 9 times. Boston snagged a come-from-behind victory as well in basketball, 113-107 over the Milwaukee Bucks last Sunday. Going into halftime, down 69-58, the Celtics proceeded to outscore the Bucks by 17 in the second, just enough for the win. Jason Tatum had a standout day, notching 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. They lost by 117-116 to the Atlanta Hawks, but rebounded with a statement 139-114 victory over the Brooklyn Nets. Against the Nets, the Celtics collected 22 three-pointers and 12 offensive rebounds. Led again by Tatum with 26 points and 10 rebounds, followed closely by Jaylen Brown with 24 points and a dozen rebounds, and Peyton Pritchard netting another 23. The Recovery Exchange came back on the Lowdown to celebrate their one-year anniversary in Lynn, as well as an upcoming coat drive. Featuring stories from both their executive director and a peer leader, learn more about the healing power of recovery within a community. Hello and welcome back to Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on 2 people from the Recovery Exchange to talk about several of their upcoming events. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Great. So first things first, just both introduce yourselves, and also one big thing we're here to talk about is your first anniversary here in Lynn.
Yes.
So do you want to start, Kim?
So I'm Kim Patterson. I am the program director at the Recovery Exchange.
And I'm Idris Forde. I am a recovery coach intern, and I'm also a peer leader and a member.
Awesome. I like your title. It's fancy.
Yeah, a little something.
Yeah. And so how has your first year been? How has it been going? What would you say are some of the highlights?
The first year has been very, very exciting. I think some of our highlights were really just connecting with the community and connecting with other peer recovery support centers on the Northeast and Boston metro area.
Yes.
So we've gotten together with a couple and done some events and really just building community.
Yeah, you were talking about, I think it was your family fun event. You said that was a big success.
Yes, the Family Fun Day. So we did Family Fun Day last August, and we decided, well, our members voted on doing it again for Recovery Month. So we went for the first week in September, and we wanted to be able to give, members wanted to be able to give backpacks. The clothing drive was separate, but it ended up just blending in together, and it just made for a really, really wonderful event.
And I'll ask you about the clothing drive, because you were really the one spearheading that. You were even telling me before and how successful that was.
Yes. So the clothing drive was initially, we wanted to reach out to like the underprivileged like elementary kids in Lynn, and we have a huge population of, we have a lot of elementary schools in Lynn. So we decided to pick one and see how that works out first. So I reached out to my sister, and she's the vice principal at Hood Elementary, and she plugged me in with the lady Kayla Butt, who runs like all the services for like underprivileged children and like the families. She works with all of them. And we sat down, she gave us like a breakdown on how it all works out. And we started in like May. Like we had the conversation in May, and I just went out to people and just reached out to the community, friends, family, and just asked for support, and people showed up. A lot of people showed up. It was like definitely a village of people that came through for us and supported us for the event, and we were able to support a lot of kids, man. We got like so many outfits for kids, so many pairs of sneakers. It was crazy. Yeah, I loved it.
So the kids were able to come to Family Fun Day, play fun games, have good food, and leave with outfits and a backpack for school to start the school year. So it really ended up making Family Fun Day an even bigger event than it normally would have been. So it was really nice. And just to see the happiness on the children's faces and also on our members, knowing that they took part in making it happen and were able to give back to the community. So.
Yeah, everybody stepped up big, everybody.
Yeah, the joy of being able to give back, right? Knowing you're able to do that. And you mentioned too the members were voting, so is that how the organizations run? Members vote kind of on what?
Yes. So pretty much the members get together. We have a community meeting every Tuesday, and they sit and they decide what they want to see in the upcoming month, what kind of events they want, what kind of activities, and they vote on it. And when it gets voted in, then staff makes sure that it happens.
Okay.
So we basically work for the members, which is good because the members now feel vested in the Recovery Exchange.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned you're both a peer leader, and a member yourself.
Yes.
So how has that system been for you?
So for me, it was awesome because so I actually walked in the doors to be a recovery coach intern, and honestly, I had no idea how the process worked there. I actually got there the first day, which was a community meeting, which was cool. So I got to I sat in on the process right away, and it was like, okay, like this is dope. Like we have the say, and they listen. That's the one thing about recovery that a lot of people get afraid of like someone taking control of their recovery, and like being able to come to like a center like ours where we give you the control of your recovery. They allow us to map out our plan, and they support us in any way possible that we need to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like super cool. And I just started like showing up. Like I just showed up, and I just started raising my hand and being part of whatever I need to be part of. And slowly but surely, I started gaining like, you know, trust from other members. Like asking me to help them and support them, and Kim obviously noticed that, and she, you know, and also like the other staff noticed it, and they voted for me to become a peer leader, which is like also the members do that too. So yeah, it's all member based, and like so we support each other. So it's crazy, yeah. No system like it.
No, I mean, it is. It's a phenomenal system. It really leans into that community aspect of it. You all support each other.
And it leans into people seeking recovery being able to take charge of their lives.
Yes.
And that's always great, because the sooner you feel like you're in control of your life, the better you feel, and the more you want to do the next right thing to continue to grow and have that control, because in substance use, a lot of people lose control of their lives. So we immediately say, this is for you, you're in control, you navigate the ship and tell us which way you want us to steer. And immediately it helps them build some self-esteem and some self-worth.
And they do. They definitely turn around and help other people give back, because as you mentioned, you're also in the middle of another coat drive running through part of this month as well.
Yes, which will be our second coat drive. We did do it last year, and we're hoping that each year we're able to get a little bit bigger and able to get a little more. And our coat drive is more to target the unhoused in the city of Lynn, adults.
Okay.
So we prefer new, but gently used coats, and hats and mittens would be great. And we started collecting already, and we hope to collect through November 15th. And they can drop them off at 35 Exchange Street. We have a box. And then probably on the 21st, when we go out to give the Hope Bags, which is something we do every Tuesday, we go out, we find the encampments of the unhoused adults. We give them information about the center, about recovery, and we also give them like socks and toiletries that they might need, as well as Narcan and testing strips. So if they're not ready to find recovery, they can at least be safe until they're ready.
Yes. And it sounds like such a great thing the members get involved with, and it's a completely non-judgment-free way of offering help, right?
And changing the stigma.
Exactly, yes.
It's a huge thing.
And I'll ask too, like you said, you have recovery support, but there's so much you do in terms of volunteering opportunities, reaching out to the community, and why is that such a big piece of how the center works?
I believe that it's a really big piece. Is one, a lot of people feel like they've taken from their community and they were left feeling like they had nothing to offer. So now they're able to give back to the community, as well as change the stigma of what a person, if people only see people at their worst when they're on the streets and they're caught up in substance use, and they don't see the other side of that, the recovery people, of which there are thousands and millions of people in recovery. They don't know that, it changes that once an addict, always an addict adage. So you can go from being an addict to being back to being a responsible and productive member of your community. And I believe that substance use is a community disease. Like everyone suffers in the community when we're not addressing substance use. So once we start addressing it, we start helping our community members at their lowest begin to build their lives and find sustainable change.
Absolutely. We've been, the stigma is huge. We actually did, probably at the beginning of the month, we did a table event outside of our center, and we did a voter registration, because we want people to understand we have a voice too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know that, like, they believe that, oh, if you have a felony or if you did this, you can't vote. And no, that's not true. So we actually got about 20 to 25 people to register to vote that day. And they're all part of the recovery community too, all people in recovery community. And that's like what we're trying to do. Like, we're trying to like build bridge the gap between not just our community, but other communities. Like, let them see that, like, yeah, we're here and we're working hard to be like better, and we are better.
And we ask our elected officials to help us to grow the recovery and recovery services. So it's important that if we want them to help us, that we vote and let our voices be heard, so that those willing to help us are elected into office to help make the change in the community. So we have to be part of that change.
Yes, you are part of that change. You're doing phenomenal work over at the Recovery Center. And I do have to wrap up at this point, but I couldn't say it any better myself. So thank you both for coming on today and really sharing some of your experiences.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Of course, anytime. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. The Lynn Tech Alumni Association is hosting their 10th annual Festival of Trees the week of November 17th through the 23rd. Come see the Annex building decked out in holiday cheer, with trees stretching the length of the hallway. See one you like? You can bid on it. All trees will be raffled off, with 100% of the proceeds going towards scholarships for current Lynn Tech students. Hours vary per day. The 18th is LVTI Alumni Night. Craig B is performing the 20th, and Santa is coming the night of the 22nd. For a full schedule, visit lyntv.org. Join the Lynn Family Resource Center and Raw Arts Artists in Action for the unveiling of their new little libraries. The young artists have been working for several weeks to create artwork that captures the mission of LRCR. Participants will be treated to free hot chocolate and the chance to meet both the artists and staff. Come celebrate another annual event, the GLCC's 6th Annual Festival of Lights in Central Square, the night of the 21st. From 4 to 6 p.m., head down to witness the lighting of a Christmas tree and menorah. In addition to music, food, and entertainment for the whole community at this family-friendly event. That is all the news in this short segment this week. Holiday events continue to pour in, so follow us on social media at Lynn Community TV to hear all about the latest updates and activities. For staff and member content, our complete community calendar, and to learn more about how to become a member yourself, visit lyntv.org. If you wish to focus solely on staff and intern video content, direct your search to Lynn Community Television on YouTube. I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., Brotherhood Credit Union, Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.